I think that was the most valuable thing I ever learned as a reporter, was to shut up and listen. It's important to listen. The person who told me that was Detective Sekiguchi Chiaki. And what he told me was, it's very important to learn to listen if you're going to be a reporter, to know the truth. And you should listen with your ears and your skin and your nose and your entire body and everything you have, but never with your eyes or with your mouth. Once you learn how to listen, you start getting answers to the questions you want.
This is the story of the American journalist who took on the Japan Mafia, the Yakuza. The Yakuza, with its roots tracing back to the Edo period, has evolved into a powerful entity with deep connections in various sectors of Japanese society. The Yakuza is not a single entity, but rather an umbrella term for various criminal organizations in Japan. The largest and most well-known groups include the Yamaguchi-gumi, Sumiyoshi Kai, and Inagawa Kai. These organizations are structured similarly to corporations, with a hierarchical system that includes a boss, sub-bosses, and rank-and-file members. The Yakuza is one of the biggest and oldest crime syndicates in the world. So how did an American, born in Columbia, Missouri, infiltrate their world? Jake Adelstein was born in 1969. His journey to becoming a prominent journalist began with his fascination with Japan, which led him to study Japanese literature at Sophia University in Tokyo. After graduating, Adelstein's career took a significant turn when he joined the Yomiuri Shimbun, Japan's largest newspaper, as its first foreign-born reporter. Adelstein's work with the Yomiuri Shimbun brought him face-to-face with the Yakuza. His beat was the Tokyo Metropolitan Police, which gave him direct access to the gritty realities of crime and law enforcement in Japan. In Tokyo Vice, Adelstein provides an insider's view of the Yakuza's operations. His fluency in Japanese and his deep understanding of Japanese culture enabled him to build sources within both the police force and the criminal underworld. One of the most shocking revelations in the book is the extent of the Yakuza's involvement in human trafficking and forced prostitution. Adelstein's investigation into the plight of foreign women coerced into Japan's sex industry highlighted the brutal realities faced by these victims and the Yakuza's role in perpetuating these crimes. Adelstein's reporting extended beyond human trafficking. He delved into the infamous crime syndicate's involvement in drug trafficking, particularly the distribution of methamphetamine. The profits from drug trafficking are immense, fueling their financial empire and allowing them to exert influence over various sectors of society. His work exposed the collusion between the Yakuza and certain corrupt elements within law enforcement and politics, revealing a network of protection and mutual benefit that allowed these criminal activities to flourish. They have developed sophisticated methods to launder money and integrate their illicit earnings into the legitimate economy. Investments in real estate, the stock market, and legitimate businesses provide a facade of respectability and a means to launder money.
Think of them as criminal trade associations, legally recognized by the Japanese government. There are 86,000 of them, 22 major organizations. The Yamaguchi-gumi is the largest, with 40,000 members, kind of like the Tesco of organized crime. The Sumiyoshi Kai with 12,000 members, based mostly in Tokyo, is second largest. The Inagawa Kai with 10,000 members is the third largest organized crime group, and they're also fairly Tokyo-based. They exist out in the open. They have offices, they have business cards, they have fan magazines. Everyone knows who the top bosses are. The Japanese government regulates them, and there are laws restricting their behavior, but as criminal organizations themselves, they are not banned. And it is very difficult for the police to do an investigation that goes all the way up to the top. It's just problems within the Japanese law itself. There's no plea bargaining, very limited wiretapping, no witness protection program, no witness relocation program, no undercover work allowed. I mean, it's possible, but almost impossible in reality if you look at the laws. What that means is that the Japanese police are never able to really destroy the Yakuza.
This duality of legal and illegal enterprises makes it challenging for law enforcement to dismantle their operations. The Yakuza's involvement in the entertainment industry, particularly in talent agencies and production companies, is another area of significant influence. By controlling these sectors, they not only generate substantial income, but also gain a foothold in mainstream culture, which they can manipulate for their purposes. The The Yakuza's ability to maintain power is not solely due to their criminal enterprises. They have also deeply embedded themselves in Japanese society. Adelstein's reporting reveals how they have positioned themselves as both feared criminals and community benefactors. They often engage in charitable activities, such as disaster relief efforts, to build a positive public image and garner support from local communities. This duality allows them to maintain a certain level of social acceptance, despite their criminal activities. The intrigue, the intricacies, the allure of covering the biggest, richest crime organizations in Japan can have its pleasures. You can feel it watching this video. The rush, the anticipation. Well, with some pleasures come pain. And in this world, the closer you get, the more harm comes your way. One evening, Adelstein received a tip from a trusted source within the Tokyo Metropolitan Police. It was a piece of information so explosive that it could shake the foundations of international law enforcement and diplomatic relations. Tadamasa Goto, a high-ranking Yakuza boss known for his ruthlessness, had received a liver transplant at UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles. This revelation was shocking not just because of who Goto was, but because it was nearly impossible for foreign nationals, especially those with criminal records, to receive organ transplants in the United States. Intrigued and determined to uncover the truth, Adelstein began his investigation. He dug through records, contacted sources in the United States, and pieced together the puzzle. What he discovered was a web of corruption and deals made in the shadows. Goto had been suffering from a serious liver condition, and his prospects for receiving a transplant in Japan were grim. Desperate, he sought help from his extensive network of contacts. Through a series of back-channel negotiations, a deal was struck. Goto would be granted a visa to the United States for a liver transplant at UCLA, but in exchange, he would provide the FBI with valuable information on the inner workings of the Yakuza. With the deal in place, Goto traveled to Los Angeles. The surgery was performed successfully, saving his life. For the FBI, this was a rare opportunity to gain insight into one of the most secretive and powerful criminal organizations in the world. The information Goto provided included details on Yakuza operations, their financial transactions, and connections with other criminal networks. It was a treasure trove of intelligence that could aid in combating organized crime on a global scale. As Adelstein continued to dig, he uncovered the extent of the moral and ethical compromises made by various parties involved. The scandal broke in the media, causing a firestorm of controversy. The Japanese public was outraged that a notorious criminal like Goto had received preferential treatment. Questions were raised about the integrity of the medical and legal systems in both Japan and the United States. For Adelstein, the fallout was personal as well. His relentless pursuit of the story had put him directly in the crosshairs of the Yakuza. Goto, feeling betrayed and exposed, issued a direct threat to Adelstein. One night, Adelstein received a chilling phone call. The voice on the other end was calm but menacing. Erase the story, or be erased. The implication was clear. If Adelstein continued to pursue the story, his life was in danger. Despite the threats, Adelstein refused to back down. His commitment to uncovering the truth and holding powerful figures accountable was unwavering. The story gained international attention, highlighting the complexities and moral ambiguities involved in the fight against organized crime. In Japan, the scandal prompted a renewed focus on the influence of the syndicate and the need for stricter measures to combat their operations. The Japanese government implemented new laws aimed at dismantling the Yakuza's financial networks and curbing their influence. In the United States, the incident raised ethical questions about the lengths to which law enforcement agencies should go to gain intelligence on criminal organizations. The Tadamasa Goto scandal remains one of the most significant stories of Jake Adelstein's career. It exemplifies the dangers and ethical dilemmas inherent in investigative journalism, particularly when dealing with powerful and dangerous subjects. Adelstein's work brought to light the hidden connections between the Yakuza and law enforcement, challenging both governments to confront uncomfortable truths.